Okay, hi. Alright, long time no see. Welcome to the video that you did not ask for and you do not want. I wanted to make something. Actually, I wanted to make this for a long time. I'm going to show you all of my movie into the collection. Actually, the Blu-rays and the 4K UHD Blu-rays. I do have a few DVDs, but I'm not going to show them because I don't really watch DVDs anymore. But anyway, I love collecting movies and TV shows, and I'm going to show you all that I've been able to get, which does not include every single movie or TV show that I love and that I would like to have. But collecting is very expensive, especially here in Brazil, because surprise, I know that I've been fooling you all with my flawless American accent, but I'm not actually American. I'm not British or Australian, I'm Brazilian. So without further ado, I'm just going to wing it and show my collection to you guys. And just so you know, everything is organized in a way that makes sense to me and possibly only me. Hope you stay with me for this. If you don't, I don't know what to tell you. YouTube is free. I'm sitting on my bedroom floor. Okay, so I'm actually going to start with some of my concert films that I have on Blu-ray. Garbage, my favorite band. This is 1 Mile High live. It's the only show of theirs that I have. I think it's the only show that they've released live. Anyway, Garbage, great band, great show. Love them to death. Moving on. Kings of Leon. So in my mid to late teens, I had a really big Kings of Leon phase. This is live at the O2 in London. This is a really great show and it sounds amazing. If you like Kings of Leon, try and get your hands on this. I think it's still in print. I don't know. But anyway, Kylie X 2008. I just love the show and I love Kylie. I love this album X. So Kylie, Aphrodite, Le Folie. Okay, I'm not gonna try and speak French. Live in London, also the O2 Arena. This is my favorite Kylie show. It's the kind of show that I think Kylie was put on this earth to make. Then of course I have the Queen. Madonna is Sticky and Sweet Tour. This show, it looks and sounds amazing if you ignore the fact that they auto-tuned Madonna's voice to death. And I do mean to death. This was the tour right after her divorce and she was not having it. She did not give a shit about hitting one single note throughout this entire thing. If you go to YouTube, you can find the soundboard for a lot of the numbers on this, and what are you waiting for? Nobody's gonna show you how. What are you waiting for? Nobody's gonna show you how. Yeah. Then we have the MTNA tour. This is the one Madonna concert I've been to. Not this one. This one was shot in Miami, I guess. But you know, it was amazing. I loved it. Best show I've ever been to, etc., etc. Unfortunately, this does not look that good because Madonna has this thing where she puts a lot of filters in almost everything she does now, and she goes, oh no, these Instagram filters that I'm putting on my live performances is because that's how I wanted them to be. That's my artistic vision. Yeah, I get it, it's valid, but it doesn't look very good. So yeah, this concert kind of looks like crap, and it doesn't sound great. It doesn't sound as great as it should sound. This one I actually keep with my CD collection, the very few CDs that I have, 60% of which are Madonna. Yeah, this is the Rebel Heart tour. It's less frenetically edited as the MDNA tour. I don't enjoy this concert as much as I do the previous tours. I think everything from Born Ambition up until MDNA, she was kind of improving at least the technology around the show and the storytelling of the show. With this one, it just kind of falls a little flat, but I still enjoy it. I still watch it whenever I can. So yeah, it's not her worst concert tour by far, but it's definitely the one that feels the most rushed. And finally, Pink, The Truth About Love Tour, live in Melbourne. This is so much fun. If you like her, I'd say this is the tour to get, although I also wish I had the Funhouse tour. Maybe someday I can find it. If it's still available, I think it's probably out of print. Okay, so moving over to the closest we have to a Criterion collection here in Brazil. It's this boutique label. They put out a lot of good stuff and really great editions. My main issue with them, and I understand it because again, Brazil, the home video collecting market is so small, especially for Blu-rays. But they sometimes have to do a thing that I don't like, which is put more than one movie in one disc, which can really fuck up the compression and make the picture quality not as good. But anyway, regardless, this is the Lynch Essential Collection. This one has Mulholland Drive, The Straight Story, and The Elephant Man. It's really... let me see if I can show it to you. But all of these but all of these collections come with posters and cards, and they make sure the presentation at least looks really good. And they really are, they're good at what they do. I brought up the putting more than one movie in one disc thing, and yeah, I don't like it. It's annoying, and yes, it always hurts the compression. Yeah, of course, if it's like two big movies, right? But still, like, the image quality, the picture quality, the audio quality, it's some of the best that we have here. Just put this back here. I'm doing this with one hand because I'm holding my camera, aka my phone, with the other. Next we have Kurosawa Essential. This one has Rashomon, Ikiru, and I think it's High and Low, the American title. Oh, and a really nice thing, they started putting their Blu-ray movies in clear cases, in clear Blu-ray cases, because all of these have internal art. Next is Carpenter Essential, John Carpenter, of course. This one has The Thing, The Fog, and Christine. The Fog and Christine in the same disc. My favorite of the bunch, definitely The Thing, but I like all of the movies in this one. Last but not least, Argento Essential. This one has, it's 2 discs, and it's Deep Red in one disc and Suspiria in the other. And I love this movie so much. Suspiria is definitely my favorite. It's a classic. I really want to get a 4K for Suspiria, but it's insanely expensive. So until then, I'm glad I had this one. Then we have the Crown Jewels, which are the Studio Ghibli collections. They only made 2. They were going to make a 3rd one, but I think they ran into problems with the copyright owners. That's the thing, this is a boutique label, so they don't really own any of these titles. They have to license everything. But I'm so glad they released these. A lot of these I think they released here before there was even a US release, which was surprising. It doesn't happen very often. Sometimes it does, but it doesn't happen very often. My one complaint about these collections is that they just come in a really flimsy cardboard cover. It's a little dusty, sorry. And I hate that because it's such a pretty set otherwise, and the movies here are so good. But anyway, Volume 1 comes with Totoro, Princess Mononoke, and Nausicaa. We also have Volume 2, the last volume. This one comes with Castle in the Sky, Kiki's Delivery Service, and Porco Rosso. And don't yell at me, but I thought Castle in the Sky was a little boring. Like, I didn't dislike it, but I thought it wasn't as good as people make it out to be. Kiki's Delivery Service is my favorite of the 3, though. I like Porco Rosso too. Then we have the only standalone Ghibli they released, I think, which is Grieve the Fireflies. This is one of my favorite movies. It is extremely difficult to watch. I think it was Mikey from Filmjoy, you know, Movies with Mikey, that said that this movie should be taught in every history class in the world, and I completely agree. This is a beautiful movie. Incredibly sad, incredibly touching. I put it next to my Studio Ghibli collection, which is why Even though it's standalone, it's here. And that also explains Spirited Away, which is not from that label I just showed you. It's from a different one. But I want to keep my Ghiblis all together, so Sumi. Beautiful edition. It has a nice, sturdy slipcover, and it comes with a poster and cards, and I think it comes with a booklet. Yeah, a booklet, a clear case and everything, and it's just so beautiful. They released this last year. We've been asking for a Spirited Away Blu-ray release for years, but they didn't. The rights owner, it's a distributor that's really bad with Blu-rays and just like physical media in general. We only had like I think a full screen DVD from 2004, so finally had this. It came out late last year. Oh man, I'm so happy. This was super expensive because a lot of these titles are actually super expensive because they're very limited, which is why these labels also make sure to, you know, go all out when it comes to packaging and extra stuff and bonus features. So yeah, I'm really happy I own this. Really happy. Alright, going back to my OG favorite boutique, we have Seven Samurai. It comes with a DVD that has 4 hours of special features, which I have not seen because that's longer than the movie itself, and the movie is already over 3 hours long. But I will watch them eventually. I live for this. I live for this stuff. This is one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life. It's one of my favorites. If you haven't seen it, and I know it's a bit film bro-y of me to recommend this, but yes, sometimes the people who make those best movies of all times lists actually hit one in the head. Which reminds me, 12 Angry Men. Yeah. What's there to say about this movie that hasn't been said? Also comes with a DVD with almost 4 hours of bonus features. Cabaret. This is another fantastic movie. The Handmaiden. The one thing I dislike about this edition is that it comes with a theatrical cut only on DVD. And I don't get why they did that. Let the Right One In. It's one of the best vampire movies ever made. The Innocence. This actually comes with, I think it's called A Come by Night, which is the prequel, quotation marks. I haven't seen it yet. Apparently it's not very good, so I haven't seen it yet. But I will, eventually. I guess I'll let you know on Twitter what I think about it. Or on Letterboxd. Follow me on Letterboxd. Metropolis. Doesn't come with a poster, unfortunately. Night of the Living Dead. This comes with the 1990 remake and the original movie. What We Do in the Shadows. And I just realized that I forgot to mention, each one of these movies come with the director's picture on the side, which I think is a nice, cute touch. What We Do in the Shadows, who doesn't love this? The Seventh Seal also doesn't come with a poster or any of that stuff, but it's one of the best movies ever made, and you should definitely have it in your collection if you enjoy depressing stuff. Okay, next up are the TV shows that I own on Blu-ray, starting with Avatar: The Last Airbender. I also have this on DVD, by the way, but I'm never getting rid of the DVDs because they come in nice digipacks. Let me show it to you. Cool, huh? I love this slipcover. Then of course we have The Legends of Korra, the show that invented lesbianism. You can see there's a crack in my case. Yeah, that's Amazon for you. Then the Brothers Steelbook, sort of. Yeah, I guess this is a steelbook. It's a steelbook that comes with a digipack. Oh. It is really beautiful, and I got it from the UK. I forgotten about that. Next, we have Damages, the complete first season, which was the only season they had released on Blu-ray until very recently. I think Mill Creek released everything in the complete series. This is the only season of the show that I watched all the way through and that I liked. So, yeah, I really loved this first season. I don't know what happened. Season 2 is just like such a dive in terms of quality. But at least I'll always have season 1. Then there's Firefly, the complete series. And I keep Serenity next to it because it's a sequel and it's slash series finale. Then we have Friends, the complete series. All 10 seasons. This is DVD sized because, well, that's a thing that a lot of labels, the major labels, did to cut costs when it came to Blu-ray over here. I don't usually mind it. I would rather they were Blu-ray sized, but you know what? This is one of those things that I'm just glad to have it, man, and I'm just glad they released it here in the first place. And this is the Brazilian packaging. It comes with the booklet and stuff. This is the J card that I didn't throw away because I never throw away J cards. There's the booklet, which is like the episode guide, and I really dig the Digistack packaging. You know, I really like this. So, you know, it bothers me a little bit that it isn't Blu-ray sized, but it's not like a deal breaker or anything. Then we have Pushing Daisy Season 1. And Pushing Daisy Season 2. One of my favorite shows of all time. As you probably know if you watched my Brian Fuller video. Speaking of which, I want to get Hannibal too, but it's always expensive, and like I said, I'm focusing on 4Ks right now. Then we have The Simpsons, the 20th season. This was the only one that they released on Blu-ray here in Brazil, so it's the only one that I have in Blu-ray. I really like the slipcover. Hold on. Okay. Can you see it? Wow, it's really like... Okay, can't get it. Hold on. There. Yeah, I like the slipcover, and I actually own the first 17 seasons of The Simpsons on DVD, and they're some of my favorite things to own. They have so much stuff in them, so many bonus features. They look so nice because, well, this was sort of inspired of Fox, to be honest, because The Simpsons had this clause, this contractual clause, like Star Wars used to have, where in order to release the stuff in home video, they have to follow the same standard. So that's why we got so many beautiful digipacks for the Simpsons seasons and later digibooks, sort of. And yeah, what can I say about the Simpsons, man? The first, I'd say the first 8 seasons, classic. Everything after that is hit or miss, and season 20 is not the worst of the late seasons by far. I think it's one of the best ones, actually. So yeah, I'm glad to have this, but fun fact, I watched every single Simpsons episode ever made up until the end of last year. That's when I realized, why am I doing this? I'm not having fun anymore. Then we have the Twilight Zone, the complete series. The original show, of course. Twin Peaks. This is the Brazilian edition, and I think it's similar to the Simpsons thing that I was talking about. I think that David Lynch had a clause in his contract or whatever that that said they had to release everything the way he approved it, because otherwise there's no way we would have gotten such a nice set. Instead of a digibook kind of thing, this has the original series and Fire Walk With Me. It doesn't have the event series, which I haven't seen yet. It's pretty cool, right? It's so beautiful, and we never get nice editions like this. So yeah, these sold out really fast, by the way. Then there's Westworld, the first season. I really love the first season of Westworld. I also liked the second season. I would get it, but it sold out so fast. I probably wouldn't get season 3. I thought it only really got good in like the last few 2 or 3 episodes. So yeah, I don't know. I hope season 4 is better. But yeah, look how nice, how pretty it is. Now, in case you don't know, I'm a huge horror fan. So now we're gonna begin with my horror collection, starting with the Alien Anthology. This has the first 4 movies. This came out 11 years ago and is still my favorite box set that I own. This is so beautiful. I don't love this type of packaging because it can scratch the disc really easily, but it does look beautiful. Yeah, I understand why they went with that. So I don't think you can find this anymore, at least not in its original printing with the digibook and stuff. But yeah, I love this so much. Yeah, look at the shiny. Then we have Fatal Attraction, Black Swan. Oh, I forgot to mention that you're going to see a lot of imports from the US, because once upon a time, a long time ago, it wasn't expensive to import stuff from there. So I just went crazy on Amazon. Unfortunately, it is crazy expensive now to import anything from anywhere in the world. So yeah, that's why a lot of the stuff most of the 4Ks that I have, it's either stuff that it's already here by Amazon Brazil, or I buy from third-party sellers. But anyway, Black Swan. Did you hear about this videotape that you watch it and 7 days later you're gay? Is this the non-homosexual adaptation of that movie? One of my favorite horror movies of all time. And I know that a lot of people consider this sacrilege, but I think this is considerably better than the original Ringu. And I love the original Ringu, don't get me wrong, but I think this movie just makes such a good job at adapting it. And it's a really difficult text to adapt because it's so entrenched in Japanese folklore. And they did such a good job. I love this movie so much. Then we have the Chucky Collection. This was the first collection that Universal released of the Chucky movies. They have one with Cult of Chucky, but I'm so happy that I got this because this one is the Digipack version. The other one's just a regular oversized Blu-ray case. So hold on, there you go. Oops. So it has Child's Play 1, 2, 3, Bride of Chucky, Seed of Chucky, and Curse of Chucky. If I remember correctly, it was the first time that they released the sequels on Blu-ray too. So of course I had to have it. And of course I have Cult of Chucky 2 with the lenticular slipcover. It's the kind of lenticular that I don't love because it doesn't really change anything. Can you tell? But it's still nice. It's still pretty. And by the way, the only Chucky movie I dislike is Child's Play 3. The only one. I love all of the Chucky movies. Some more than others, but yeah. Then we have Evil Dead 2. Where's Evil Dead 1, you ask? Wait. Then we have The Exorcist. This is the digibook version. I love this type of packaging. I really wish they hadn't stopped making them. I don't think they make them anymore. This comes with a note from William Friedkin. 2 discs. It has the theatrical cut and the version you've never seen. I just love this packaging. Like, look at that. I love this booklet. Yeah. This is one movie that I'm dying to get on 4K. They haven't released it. I think they might release it next year because of the 50th anniversary, and they're making a new one. Yeah, I just love this movie, man. The Lighthouse. Whenever someone tries to convince you that the Oscars is a meritocracy and not a political thing, just show them this movie and ask why Willem Dafoe and Arpets weren't nominated for their performances here. Final Destination, the first one, the original, which I also have in this 4-pack with the second, with Final Destination 1, 2, 3, and the. Why do I still have the first one then? Why didn't I sell it? Because I like to have the individual case for the first movie. And then, of course, Final Destination 5. This is such a boring, like, cover art. Especially in the back. There's not even like a picture. One still of the movie here. The Fly. This is the original 1958 one with Vincent Price. I actually prefer this to the Cronenberg one by a lot. I don't like the Cronenberg one, actually. The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. I am so happy to have this. I wanted this movie for such a long time. And yeah, I know. Please ignore this. I try very hard to. Ginger Snaps. This is one of my favorite finds when I was a teenager. It is such a good movie. I can't believe Emily Perkins and Catherine Isabella aren't bigger stars. But hey, at least Catherine Isabella was in Hannibal. The original poster art. One of 2 Criterions I have, because Criterions are really expensive. Even back when importing stuff wasn't impossible, Criterions were never cheap. I love this edition. It's a digipack actually, and oops. So cool, right? Then we have Goosebumps. I never got around to watching the second one. Everybody was telling me that it was bad. It was just the first movie remade shittily. But I was so surprised with this movie. I loved Goosebumps, the original series when I was a kid, but I didn't think this movie was going to be any good, but it was really entertaining. Gremlins. This is the 2-disc edition. This is one that is. I'm dying to get the 4K of this because it looks so bad on Blu-ray. It's a very old master. I think it's a DVD age master, and they did like nothing to make it look a little better. This is a fun movie, and it deserves a better transfer. And I hear that their 4K it's not perfect, but it's. The Shining, another one that I need the 4K now, but it's super expensive. I think the cheapest I've seen this was for $288 of my money, which is about over $50, over 50 American dollars. So yeah, Cloverfield, and Cloverfield's 10 Cloverfield Lane. Sorry. Yeah, fun fact, Cloverfield is the only movie that I saw in the United States when I was there in 2008, and I loved it, and I loved the Cloverfield trilogy. I may need to rewatch the third one because I remember really enjoying it. Yet everyone is like, one of the worst movies ever, and I don't know. I remember having fun with it, but I only watched it once. These two, though, are amazing. Cloverfield is one of my favorite movies. I still think it's the better Godzilla movie than any American Godzilla movie we've got so far. And this one was such a surprise. I did not expect it to be this good. Coraline. This has the 3D version, but it's the shitty 3D version. Like, I don't like 3D anyway, but it's the one that you can watch in any television, right? But anyway, this movie is amazing, and I love it. The Crow. The Haunting. Dial M for Murder. It's the Blu-ray 3D version, the lenticular cover. You're gonna see a few Blu-ray 3Ds in my collection. I never had a Blu-ray 3D player or a TV. I do not like 3D, but I sometimes got the Blu-ray 3D because, well, it was either the only thing that they released, or it's the one that I could find for cheap, or because sometimes the cover looks prettier. This one, they only released it in this spec, I think, with the regular Blu-ray and the 3D one. This is not horror, but it's horror enough for me to put it in the horror collection. This is the Ovira 2-pack. It comes with the Ovira Mistress of the Dark movie and the 2004 sequel, which comes on DVD, unfortunately. But yeah, the Mistress of the Dark one comes on Blu-ray, and I really like this edition. The only thing that I don't like is that it doesn't have the title in the front cover, in the slip cover. But other than that, yeah, it's really cool. This is one of those movies that I watched when I was a kid because it was always on, and I rewatched it, I think, a couple of years ago, and I had no idea how much it would hold up, and it held up so well. This movie is so much fun, and you know, when you're a kid, you don't get a lot of the jokes in this movie. And when you're a grown-up and you're gay, you get all of the jokes from this movie. So thank you, Cassandra, thank you. Halloween, the original one. This is a digibook, and therefore I will never get rid of it. Hence why it's still here even though I have this, which is the 10 movie Scream Factory Collector's Edition, which comes with the first 8 Halloween movies, the Rob Zombie terrible remakes, and the producer's cut of Halloween 6. I love this set so much. I really want to upgrade Halloween and Halloween 3 to 4K because Halloween is one of my favorite movies, and Halloween 3 I think it's the only one of the first 5 other than the original that they released on 4K that I really like and would like an upgrade, especially because the disc here doesn't come with surround sound and the 4K does. So and for those wondering, yes, I would love to have the Friday the 13th instead. No, I don't have it. Why? Because it's too expensive. Then we have Hellraiser and Hellraiser 2, Hellbound. These are the 2 Hellraiser movies that I like. And I really wanted the, I think it was Arrow Video. They released, I think, the first three remastered, and because these do not look very good. Um, this one in particular, it was a very early release. This is Anchor Bay, which doesn't even exist anymore. I'm holding off for the retail. I'm holding off everything that I want with a good Blu-ray release, which is I'm waiting for them to announce the 4K. I think with Candyman, I know they did that with the original Candyman. I think they released a remastered Blu-ray last year, and this year they announced the 4K. So it's like I don't want to have to keep. The Life of a Collector already is just like upgrade your collection to a better resolution, better format until the day we die. And I like to avoid that as much as possible. But yeah, I really want them to announce a 4K of these two. These two are such great films. Hellraiser 2 does not get the love that it deserves. That's from Hellraiser fans and horror fans, but most people do not think very kindly of this movie, and they are wrong. In a lot of areas, I think it's better than the first Hellraiser. Next is Jurassic Park, the Ultimate Trilogy. Why is this in the horror section? Because Jurassic Park is a horror movie. This is a nice digipack, therefore I'm never getting rid of this. Jurassic World. When I watched this movie for the first time, I think it was just nostalgia, right? They finally did the thing that I wanted them to do. I finally saw the park open. I finally saw them going back to the original islands. I always wanted them to get back to the original islands, and the sequels never did. They made up a new island. I always hated that. So I think because of that, and just like the spectacle of seeing dinosaurs on the big screen again, I was fooled into thinking this was a better movie than it really was. But I just rewatched this year because I did a Jurassic Park rewatch, and yeah, this is not a great movie. Yet I have 2 copies of it. You'll see why. I do like the slipcover, at least. That's all I can say. The Lost Boys. This is actually my favorite vampire movie of all times. And you know, I wonder. I wonder if this is going to be relevant for any like upcoming things. This is the Universal Monsters Essential Collection. It's another one of those digipacks that came DVD sized. I love this collection. Some movies do not look as good as I hoped they would. Mainly the Mummy and the Wolfman. The Wolfman really doesn't look very good. But yeah, I'm really glad I have this. I want to get a 4K that came out with Dracula, Frankenstein, the Invisible Man, and the Wolfman. I think everyone, if they're a film fan, they should watch all these movies. Except for Phantom of the Opera. You don't have to watch this version of the Phantom of the Opera. The OG Universal Monster version of Phantom of the Opera is the Lon Chaney one, from 1925, the silent version. But Universal doesn't have the rights to that movie anymore because it's in the public domain. So that's why they never include it. Instead, they go with the Claude Rains version, which is lame and bad. The Mummy Trilogy. I love the first movie. I think The Mummy Returns is okay. It's still good enough that I'll rewatch it every now and then. I do not like the third movie. Nobody likes the third movie, let's be honest. But yeah, this is just a bare bones collection, or just a regular case, you know. But yeah, it was nice to get these movies for really cheap. My Bloody Valentine. This is the original 1981 classic slasher film. This is the original Lionsgate release too, and for a while, this was going for an absurd amount of money because it was out of print. And Screen Factory, It was only a few years ago that they finally released this again. But for a while there, the copies of this movie, new and used, were going for obscene amounts. A Nightmare on Elm Street, the original. One of my favorite movies that I like to have in the individual case, even though I have this one, the Nightmare on Elm Street collection, which I really hope they do a really badass 4K release of these movies, because they all look good on Blu-ray, but they deserve so much more. Like, this is such a nothing collection. New Line is the house that Freddy built, so the fact that this doesn't have a better edition on Blu-ray is kind of mind-boggling to me, and I really hope that they do like a 4K release like the Halloween and Friday the 13th sets that the Scream Factory did. That would be awesome. I really hope they do that. And this is the Scream Queen documentary. This is a documentary about A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, and more specifically Mark Patton and how it affected his life. And it is so good. And they released this edition that is so pretty. It's like this thick cardboardy book, and then inside you get a bunch of stuff, including a notebook. And the movie. Watch this documentary if you haven't already. Even if you're not like a super horror fan, watch this documentary. I just realized I was talking about it, but yeah, if you don't know, Nightmare on Elm Street 2 is the gay Nightmare on Elm Street movie. Well, the gay-er. Then we have The Covenant, because if you think for a second that I would not own The Covenant on Blu-ray, I think you got me all wrong. This is the gay wizard movie. As you can tell, they're not trying to hide the homoerotic anymore. This is not a good movie. This is a terrible movie. I love it to bits. And I'll leave it at that for now. Paranorman. This has braver gay representation than anything that Disney has ever done. And it's not even like, oh my god, completely groundbreaking, but yeah. Anyway, this is a really good movie. This is very underrated too, because people talk about Coraline and they remember Coraline for a very good reason. Coraline deserves to be remembered. It is awesome, but this movie is, I'd say, just as good, and I don't see many people talking about it. This is the 50th anniversary edition of The Birds. It comes with this, like, it's a poster, but they printed it on this piece of cloth, and it comes with a card. Anyway, it's pretty, and it's never leaving my collection. And remember when I was going on the rampage about how much the Phantom of the Opera that Universal includes in the sets is not the correct one? Well, this one is the correct one. I also got it from British. Also got it from England. It's the 1925 movie with the 1925 and 1929 versions, and it's my favorite movie version of the Phantom of the Opera. The Omen. I'm not sure how I feel about this cover art, if I'm being honest. Part of me likes it, but part of me thinks it's a little, I don't know, generic. Anyway, this is the original movie. I know that, I think it was Scream Factory again, they released a box set with all of the movies in the franchise, and they remastered the first one, and I hope they release a 4K of that someday, because this is one of those early Blu-rays that do not look good. I think they used to do the master for this as well. Can you hear the disc? It's not loose, it's just now we're gonna get to a problematic. Okay, so Repulsion, huh? This is a really beautiful edition by a boutique label here in Brazil. Look at this slipcover, like. So cool. I was actually debating on whether or not I should get this, because this is a Roman Polanski movie, This is one of two movies of his that I saw and I loved before I knew of what he'd done. So I'm not spending my money to support like a new project of his that I knew of after I learned of what a piece of shit he is, right? Does this sound like I was trying to, let myself off the hook a little bit? Yeah, probably. Anyway, I'm definitely gonna have to explain this to God when I die. Anyway, this is a limited edition. It's numbered. I think mine. It's inside the thing. Mine is 32. If I'm not mistaken. This comes with a booklet, which is English friendly, by the way. And yeah, it's a really nice edition. Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6th final chapter. I love these movies. I know they are terrible. They are terrible movies with the exception of the first one. The first one is actually a very good movie and I will die on that. But the rest is not. But they're all really fun. I think one of the reasons that I find them so much fun is that up until this year, I had never played a Resident Evil game. So I had no idea how much they are nothing like the movies. So I completely understand, and they have a good story, so I completely understand why the fans of the games were pissed off with everything that they changed in these movies. But I can appreciate them as separate things. The games are Resident Evil 2 and 3 anyway, the ones that I played. The remakes, they're really, really great games. They're really fun. But the movies are fun too. I have a hell of a nice time when I watch these films, and I 100% want to upgrade them to 4K as soon as I can, but they are very expensive to get. Then we have the Rocky Horror Picture Show, the Digibook edition, which I love. This is one that I really wanted to release in 4K as well, but I am never getting rid of this edition. Rosemary's Baby, the second and last Criterion that I own so far. This one doesn't share the mea culpa that I have with Repulsion because I got this before I learned of what Polanski had done. I actually only learned about it, I think, in my mid-20s. So, yeah, this is one of my favorite movies. Unfortunately, the guy that made it is evil. Then we have Scream, the complete collection. This is a Canadian import of, this is Blu-ray, even though it has the black case. This is a Canadian import, which was the only place outside of Germany which I could find that had all 4 movies together, because in the United States, I think it's Miramax for the first 3 movies, and then the 4th movie I think it's Lionsgate or something. Anyway, they don't all share the same distributor. But this one in Canada they did, and they had all 4 movies together, and this came in a bigger set, which I still have, but I'm not going to show it to you because time has not been kind to it. But it came with a ghost face mask and like this big box, and I'm gonna try and find a picture of it to put it up here. And the cover art is extremely generic, but yeah, Scream is my favorite horror movie franchise. I love these movies to death, and I was so happy to have them all in one place. You have Scream 1, Scream 2, Scream 3, oops, Scream 4, and it comes with 2 documentaries, Still Screaming and Scream the Inside Story. This is one of my favorite things that I own. I am going to get Scream 2022, but I want to get it in 4K, and it's super expensive, yada yada. And yeah, Scream and Scream 2 are amongst my favorite movies. I love Scream 4, and Scream 3 It's the only Scream movie that I just like. Yet I'll still watch it because there's still stuff in it that I like. Then we have the 7 digibook. Uh, really pretty, really nice. It's the digibook. Unfortunately, it's also one of those movies where one of the people involved with it, like, you can understand if people don't want to watch this anymore. You know, I get it. I have movies. I have the same feeling. Like, in a way, these movies are kind of solid forever for me. This Repulsion, Rosemary's Baby, and a few others that I haven't shown yet. But I still like or even love these movies. It's just that, you know, it's difficult to ignore some stuff. Then we have the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This is a really good edition. It comes with 4 discs, I think, and it's DVD sized. It's not from Brazil. I think it's from the US. And it's weird. It's weird that it's DVD sized. I still think it's a really good edition. So I want to get the 4K for this, but I'm never getting rid of this because this is a digipack. Then we have Tremors and Tremors 2, which are the only 2 movies of the franchise that I think are any good, and I've actually watched all of them. I really want the 4K edition that, was it Arrow? I think it was Arrow, released recently, but it is so expensive, and I think you can find the limited edition anymore. I think only the standard one is in stock, which sucks because I really wanted the limited one, but oh well. Trick or Treat. This is actually my favorite movie to watch on Halloween. Jaws. This comes with a digibook, and therefore I am never getting rid of it. Zodiac. This is David Fincher's best movie. Alright, next we have the Satan line, and starting with Snow White. This is the Diamond edition. 2 discs. Pinocchio, the Platinum edition. Fantasia. This is the collection with Fantasia and Fantasia 2000. Sleeping Beauty, Diamond edition. 101 Dalmatians, the Diamond edition. The Rescuers, a childhood favorite. The Little Mermaid, Diamond edition. I love this art, this cover art. This was also the 1997 re-release poster, which is the poster they had when I went to see it in the theater. Beauty and the Beast, Diamond edition. Look how pretty the slipcover is. Has this glitter effect. This one, I really wanted to get the 4K for this because it's one of my favorites. It's actually my favorite Disney movie, but I saw it on 4K on Disney Plus, and wow, the HDR does nothing for this movie. It's such a huge disappointment. I'm gonna hold on to this one. Aladdin, Diamond edition. The Nightmare Before Christmas, which I know is not in the main Disney animated canon, I just don't care. The Lion King, Diamond edition with a shockingly good slipcover from Disney Brazil. Hercules, for no reason. Let me just make it clear that I support Lindsay Ellis and I miss her. Mulan and Mulan 2, which I only have because that's the only way I could get Mulan on Blu-ray, and I was not going to not have Mulan on Blu-ray. Tarzan, Atlantis, and Atlantis 2. Um, I've never seen the second one. Same with Mulan 2. I've never seen it because I don't want it. I was forced by Disney to own those movies. But the first Atlantis is a flawed movie, but I just think it's such a beautiful looking movie. Like visually, it is astonishing. So that's why I bought it more than anything else. The movie, I think it's fun enough. Lilo and Stitch. Now there's an underrated movie. This also comes with one of the sequels. I don't know which one. Has no extras, just the movie. Why did they include this special features box then? Like The Princess and the Frog, a movie that I think is neither as good nor as bad as people make it out to be. It's also another visually beautiful movie. Tangled. In a perfect world, this movie would have been as popular as Frozen was. Actually, this movie would have gotten the popularity that Frozen got. I like Frozen, but no, this movie is so much better. But I like Frozen. See, I like Frozen. Do not like Frozen 2. Big Hero 6, talk about a forgotten gem. It's kind of amazing how much this movie just came and went. It is so good. Zootopia. I loved this movie when I saw it for the first time. I still like this movie. I do not want to get involved in the discourse surrounding this movie because I do have an opinion on that, but it's such a boring opinion that it's not a hill I want to die on. Suffice it to say, I think it works as a racial allegory up until it doesn't. Moana. What a fun movie. This one should have also been as big as Frozen. Now we get to Disney Pixar with Toy Story, Toy Story 2, and Toy Story 3. This comes with the 3 movies plus a bonus disc for Toy Story 3. The artwork for this and the packaging is nothing special, but I was just happy and surprised that Disney included the Toy Story 3 bonus disc. I love these movies. 3 is my favorite, but I love all of these movies. I've grown up with them. I do not recognize Toy Story 4. It does not exist. This is the first. This is like the biggest movie that I don't think it's bad at all. I actually think it's quite good, but I completely reject its existence. Because I wanted a lie. I wanted the lie that Toy Story 3 gave me of a happy ending for these toys. Even though, as soon as I left the theater, I thought the same thing that everybody else thought. Like, okay, but what happens when Bond? Doesn't matter. I wanted the lie, and Toy Story 4 fucked that up. So, yeah, I don't like that movie, but it's not bad at all. But yeah, no, I'm never gonna have Toy Story 4 in my collection. It's not here. I ignore its existence. A Bug's Life. This is a movie that, ever since I was a kid, I thought it was severely underrated. This was back when DreamWorks was still trying to rip Pixar and Disney off. So they released Ants at the same time, and a lot of people really liked Ants, and they were like, "Oh, Ants is better than A Bug's Life," and no, it's not. Like, in every way, A Bug's Life is a better movie. So as much as it hurts me to say it, Jenny Nicholson was wrong about this movie. Monsters Inc., another childhood favorite, and adulthood favorite. I love this movie. Finding Nemo, another movie that I love, and I remember seeing this in theaters, and I'm happy that I have this edition. This comes with 2 discs. I really hate this ugly blue banner that Disney put on top of the art, but Disney has always been bad at like graphic design. Just look at the Marvel posters. And the sequel, Finding Dory, which I really liked. I thought it was really good. Not as good as the first one, but really good. As is Up. Inside Out, which should be a double disc edition, but it's not. They dropped the bonus features disc here in Brazil. Disney started doing that a lot. Disney's not doing home video more in Latin America, by the way, so yeah, fun. But to be fair, they weren't very good at it. Coco, one of Pixar's best, in my opinion. And as for the few Disney live-action movies I have, Mary Poppins, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Enchanted. I'm really scared for the sequel, guys. Really scared. And The Jungle Book, the only Disney live-action remake that is good. The only one. Actually, it's the only one that's halfway decent. Well, no, Cinderella was halfway decent. This is the only one that is good. Great, actually. Do not fight me on this. Now for my superhero collection. This is Marvel's Avengers. We didn't used to get steelbooks. We used to get like these tin things, which I don't like. They're clumsy and they are difficult to just by themselves to stand straight on the shelf. But yeah, and do you notice like the error here? Like, which one do you want to be upside down, the picture or the title? Full disclosure, I haven't seen this movie in a few years. Does it hold up? Probably does not. But I did enjoy it at the time of release. So this has 2 discs, and inside it we have the Blu-ray and and some cards, which are the character posters. Then we have Captain America the First Avenger. I could do him all day. This is actually a custom cover that I printed. I don't remember where I found it. If I can find it, I'll tweet it or something, but I have a custom cover art for this and the Winter Soldier because the official artwork is just ugly. It's the ugly poster, so yeah, I just liked the way these looked. And Civil War also had one, but I didn't get it because I did not have the type of paper that I needed to print this anymore, and I kept forgetting to buy it. So, and then the Winter Soldier is still the best MCU movie. Civil War, which is a good movie, but it's a bad ending for the Captain America trilogy. I mean, it's barely about Cap. So then we have the first Thor, a movie which I'll always love because it means something to me. But in all honesty, I do think this movie is a little underrated. Then we have Spider-Man, the first one. This is a god-awful looking art. Like, what the hell is that? They just photoshopped the most generic. This looks so bad. God, I hate this so much. And they did it, of course, for Spider-Man 2. And it sucks because for one thing, this is the best superhero movie of all times. And yeah, just why would they do that? I don't own Spider-Man 3 because when I got these, I was a fool. I definitely want to get the Spider-Man trilogy on 4K ASAP. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. What is there to say about this movie that hasn't been said to death? This is the second best Spider-Man movie after Spider-Man 2. But if you think it's the best one, I completely respect your opinion. Then the base, X-Men. This has 2 discs. X-Men 2 also has 2 discs. X-Men Days of Future Past This is the best comic book movie trilogy ever made, by the way. Just in case you forgot. We knew what was up. And X-Men Days of Future Past, the Rogue Edition. Why do I have the regular standard edition and the Rogue Edition, even though the Rogue Edition has the theatrical cut as well? Because they have different special features. Also, I'll say this. I prefer the theatrical cut, but I really I really love the scenes with Rogue by themselves. I just agree that they were cut for a reason. They really sort of fuck up the pacing. Like in the middle of the movie, some of the characters had to go on a side quest. So yeah, it didn't flow really well. Batman Under the Red Hood. Shazam. This is another movie that just, sparks joy. And rounding up the superhero collection, Power Rangers, the 2017 remake. I should have gotten the 4K of this. Man, I was such a fool. Nonetheless, this looks amazing. And the slipcover is shiny, which I like shiny. Now we get to the sci-fi fantasy section, starting with 2001 A Space Odyssey, a title that I am dying to upgrade to 4K. AI, Artificial Intelligence. This was my favorite movie for a long time when I was a kid. I remember seeing this for the first time actually vividly because it was on my 10th birthday. My parents, they bought a bunch of tickets for me and my closest friends to go and see this movie, and yeah, it was 3 days before the world changed forever. Yeah, on September 2001. But yeah, this movie is really sad, but also really sweet. The X-Files, Fight the Future. Blade Runner. This is another digibook. It has a bunch of extras, and it's a digibook, so I'm never getting rid of it. Bumblebee. I did not expect to like this movie at all. I saw the first Transformers film and it was one of the worst movies I had ever seen. And then I never saw any of the, 87 movies that they made after that. This one I really only wanted to watch because A, John O'Brien was in it, and B, Lindsay Ellis, she and the Black Nerd, they did this review together, talking about how surprised they were and how it was actually really good. And yeah, I agree, it's a good movie. Ghostbusters. This is the only movie in my collection that I own because of spite. I was so annoyed with the discourse surrounding this movie. I was so annoyed at the sexism that I made sure to watch this in theaters. And okay, here's the thing. I think this movie is okay. I don't think it's great. I paid full retail price for this because I was so annoyed at all the fucking discourse surrounding this thing and the whole "you ruined my childhood" by men who are like 35 years old. So I just wanted to give this movie my money. And I'm actually sad that they didn't make a sequel just because I wanted to see those people cry. But to be fair to this movie's quality, which again, I think it's okay. It's an okay film that I'll rewatch every once in a while because it's an easy movie to watch, but it's just okay in my opinion. This is still my favorite Ghostbusters movie. I don't like the original Ghostbusters or Ghostbusters 2. I didn't grow up with those movies. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't watch Afterlife yet. When it's dumped on Prime Video, for free, I'm sure I'll watch it. How to Train Your Dragon, my favorite CGI DreamWorks animation. Jupiter Ascending, my favorite Wachowskis, actually. I don't think it's their best, but it is my favorite. Donnie Darko, one of my favorite movies. This has the theatrical cut and the director's cut. Edward Scissorhands, This is a movie that really needs a remaster. The Terminator and The Terminator 2, Judgment Day, It's a Wonderful Life, Gravity, The Grinch. I'll talk about it a little bit more later. I love The Green Case. The Lord of the Rings Extended Edition, all 3 movies. I think it's 5 discs per movie. They spread the movie in 2 discs, which I don't love, but I understand why they did it. I wish they hadn't done it for the 4K disc, because really 100 gigabytes is more than enough for you to put a 3.5 hour movie in. And also the 4K version, from what I've seen, looks bad, which is a bummer, because I really wanted to upgrade. Witness. I love this poster, by the way. Now, if you follow my Twitter, you probably know that I'm not a Christopher Nolan fan, like at all. I think he's a really bad director and he makes really bad movies, but Inception was one that I liked it when I saw it. I need to rewatch this. I don't know if I'll feel the same way now, but yeah, I do have this. It's the 2-disc edition. Rise of the Guardians, extremely underrated. I can't believe you guys let this flop. And yes, I'm blaming you. No, I'm kidding. I can't believe people let this flop, because I really wanted a sequel to this. This is such a good movie. It's so fun. Although, for the Tumblr veterans, do you guys remember that insufferable, I don't know, 6 months where people were shipping Jack Frost with Elsa from Frozen? Pacific Rim. I love this movie, and yeah, I'm never going... I love this slipcover. Like, look at this. Also, this edition comes with a bonus disc with special features, so I can't let this go, even if I upgrade it, which I may or may not have. Who knows? I'm so subtle. The Little Prince. This is the 2014 movie, I think, or 2015. This has the 3D and 2D versions on the same disc. I really love this movie. Watch it if you can, because outside of Friends, I don't think many people really saw it. Then we have Shrek, the whole story, all 4 movies, because Shrek is life, Shrek is love, Shrek is life. Star Trek. This was an impulse buy. I like these movies fine, but honestly, I don't think I would have gotten them if I didn't find this for cheap. I wanted to do some shop therapy and just buy something. I need to rewatch these movies, actually. Star Wars, the complete saga, up until Disney went and bought themselves a Star Wars and made a bunch of movies that, well, like 2 or 3 are good, so. And now for the pile that I affectionately call everything else. Casino Royale, Skyfall, my favorite Bond movie, 127 Hours, one of my favorite movies, Forever Solid by, well, you know why. 22 Jump Street. I liked the first one alright, but I like this one a lot. Really funny. SpongeBob, Sponge Out of Water. Once again, it's one of those movies that just sparks joy, which the rest of the SpongeBob movies do not, by the way. Breakfast at Tiffany's. Brokeback Mountain, because of course. The Breakfast Club. Stand By Me, a movie that I didn't think I would like, but I really love this movie. It's actually I think if not for The Shining, this would be my favorite Stephen King adaptation. Cruel Intentions. With our queen, Sarah Michelle Gellar, and our sexual awakening, Ryan Phillippe, Bueller, The Devil Wears Prada, Bridget Jones's Diary, which has this Studio Canal seal, and that's weird too because Studio Canal is not a label here. This was put out by Universal, I think. Maybe this was made by Studio Canal, and I didn't know that. I quite like it when she puts her tongue in me. One of my all-time favorites, most recent all-time favorites. My favorite DreamWorks animation. Been a favorite of mine since I was a kid. GBF. You know, I think before we had Glee and Love Simon and all of these other movies and TV shows that were made for a teen gay audience, we had GBF. Actually, it's not that old. I think this was after Glee. It is a really fun, really funny movie, and it's very Mean Girls. I really like it actually. Check it out if you can. The way he looks, I think this is the only Brazilian movie I have in my collection, and that's because most Brazilian movies don't get Blu-ray releases actually. There are two that I want to get at some point. There's no way they're going to get a 4K release unless internationally, but I don't think they're not like City of God, you know. So yeah, I'm gonna get those as soon as I can find them for a cheaper price. But yeah, this is one of my favorite movies. Kingsman, a movie that was a lot of fun the first few times that I saw it, but when you notice how this movie treats people of color and women, it's just not very good. The sequel, I think it's somehow even worse. I didn't see Kingsman, the prequel yet, and Lost Simon, of course, which I really wish I had gotten the 4K. But the problem is that when I got this, I think it was Black Friday, and it was during that moment of transition when Disney bought Fox. So this was out of print. A lot of Fox side was out of print for a little while, and the 4K of this was out of print. The Blu-ray wasn't, so I just had to get the Blu-ray because I didn't know when the 4K was going to be back in stock, and yeah, I couldn't not have this movie. But no, I'm definitely upgrading this to 4K, even though I'm sure it's not that big of a leap. This wasn't shot in 4K, this wasn't shot on film. I don't care. I need to have this movie in the best quality possible. Shame on me, my queer brother. Shame on not getting the 4K. Magic Mike XXL. Infinitely better than the first movie. Where's the 4K for this? I would pay for the 4K of this. Mean Girls, a classic. Of course I have this. Miss Congeniality, a movie that brings me so many memories. This was one of my dad's favorite movies, and I saw this with him. We saw it in theaters. It was the first PG-13 movie that I saw in theaters. Over here we don't have PG-13, it's a 12 rating, and it was the first 12 rated movie that I saw in theaters. I was 9. Man, me and my dad were big Sandra Bullock fans, and yeah, we watched this movie a lot together. Bridesmaids. Mummy, my favorite one. I really hope this this label puts out I Killed Your Mother. I Killed My Mother too, so I have all of the Nolan movies that I want. It's just those two. Moulin Rouge. This was when Fox Brazil briefly tried to make us steelbooks, digibooks, sorry. It's not as good, you know, the digibooks that I have from the United States, they are this really thick cardboard, and this is not, which is why they come with this protected cover. Because yeah, they're really easy to rip and tear and stuff. Anyway, Moulin Rouge, another movie that really needs the 4K. I mean, this movie looks so beautiful. It has so much color. I really hope that they release this in 4K, but you know, it's with Disney now, so who knows. Last year was the 20th anniversary and they did nothing, so I'm not holding my breath, unfortunately. And in that moment, I swear, we were infinite. This is one of my favorite movies. Oh god. I've forgotten that this has a certified fresh bullshit. The moment they started putting this sticker in movies as a selling point, that's when we lost. Everything was lost. Catch Me If You Can. An underrated Spielberg movie that a lot of people seem to talk about. Sabrina. The Sound of Music. This is my mom's favorite movie, actually, and I bought this for her, but she never watched it. She just doesn't sit down to watch movies anymore, really. So I have it in my collection. I'm glad to have it. So, yeah, I'm not going to try and talk my way out of this one. I like this movie. I haven't seen it in a few years. Maybe I won't like it anymore. I do not like South Park. I think, you know, Matt Stone and Trey Parker are a net negative in the world. They are the ones who really normalize the whole both sides thing in like pop culture, because they think that having an opinion equals being intellectually corrupt, which is a quote, by the way. I just can't remember who said that. I think it was a tweet. Maybe it was Mara Wilson. Anyway, but I thought this movie was like a brief moment in which they cared. Like at least they took a stance. Even something, you know, as broad as censorship bad. But, you know, at least they did it. I'm proud of them. Unfortunately, that's not what South Park became, or really what the show ever was. Taxi Driver. Titanic. I really hope Paramount puts out a 4K next year for the 25th anniversary. One of my favorite movies, and one of the movies I think I've seen the most in my life, ever since I was a kid. This movie and Jurassic Park, I credit as being the movies that really cemented my love affair with film, because they showed me what movies could be, just like how grandiose. Like Jurassic Park made me believe that dinosaurs could roam the earth again, and Titanic made me believe that we were transported back to 1912 aboard the Titanic, you know. It's such a good movie. I'm so happy that we stopped pretending that this was a bad movie. And finally, Veronica Mars, the movie. I have the TV show on DVD, actually. Yeah, I really like this movie. It was a worthy sequel to the show. And it felt more like seasons 1 and 2 than season 3, which is an alright season. Well, this is it? Yes, but no, because we are not done yet. You know what I really like? Steelbooks. This is the live-action Aladdin remake steelbook. This is not a good movie, but this is a pretty steelbook that I got for cheap, and we could all use some Minamasu in our collection. So yeah, this is a beautiful steelbook. Like, look at that. Even though it says focus, even though it says Ultra HD Blu-ray, this is the normal 2K Blu-ray. Distributor companies and studios do not distribute 4K Blu-ray here in Brazil. Aquaman. I don't love this art, but it's still better than most of the arts, actually all of the arts that they had here for this movie, and I also got it for cheap, so you know. I like this movie. I think it has a very fucked up environmental message. Like I saw this in theaters, and I was watching it unfold. Like, so is nobody realizing that they're saying saving the oceans are it's bad? Like, Aquaman literally stops a plan by Patrick Wilson to clean the oceans and hold humanity accountable, right? Yeah, but you know what? Whatever. Big companies are going to big company, and aside from that, this is a movie that, again, just sparks joy. It was a fun movie. Avengers Infinity War, the second best MCU movie. It's a dark steelbook and it's already kind of dark, so apologies. Oh, the J card is here. I didn't remember that. It's the second best Marvel movie, MCU movie, anyway. Unfortunately, then Endgame happened. But let's pretend it didn't. What happened in Endgame with a lot of the characters was less depressing to me, was more depressing to me than the end of this movie when half of the population in the universe dies. And what is this? The third best MCU movie. I fucking love the art they use for this steelbook. Like, Jesus Christ. This is how you make a steelbook. Blade Runner 2049. I also love the art they used for the steelbook. And funny thing, this is actually distributed by Sony, because internationally this movie was distributed by Sony. However, I did get the 4K of this later, and it's by Warner, and I just put it in here because the case that I got it in came a little damaged. Actually, it came quite a bit damaged. The disc was fine, but the case wasn't, so I just stuck the 4K disc here. But funny enough, Sony, for whatever reason, I guess to make it appear to have more value that it actually has, they divided the bonus features for this in 2 discs. Warner just didn't, because there's no reason to. There aren't that many special features. So it's funny. I have the 4K here and the Sony 2K Blu-ray and the bonus features disc underneath it. Did I hear the MCU's biggest Air Force propaganda? This movie. What can I say about this movie? Actually, I'm going to say nothing about this movie. I'm going to say that I need to rewatch this to commit to an opinion about this movie. Pretty steelbook though. Deadpool 2. First time I watched this, I did not like it at all. And then I rewatched it for the We Could Be Queeros video, and I really loved it. I thought it was so much fun. And it has a much better story than the first movie. It has a bigger budget, and that doesn't necessarily translate to better, but in this case it did make it a little more epic. They were able to do things that they couldn't do in the first movie, and yeah, I really liked it. It's a lot more earnest and sincere, I thought, than the first movie that was very bro-y, ha ha ha. I'm a superhero who's making jokes about boners and sexual abuse, and look at all the violence we have, which, that's fine when you're 13, but I'm not. I haven't been 14 for a while, so. The Evil Dead. When I was showing you my copy of Evil Dead 2, here's Evil Dead 1. This is the UK, yeah, it's the UK steelbook that I got, which I'll always keep because it's a steelbook. horror movie I love, and it looks great. Incredibles 2. I know this is sacrilege for a lot of people, but I like this movie more than I like Incredibles 1. I was never a big fan of Incredibles 1, so yeah. Sorry. Jaws, or Lo Squalo, because this is the Italian steelbook. This is a 4K edition that I got of Jaws. Logan. Again, I'm not sure, because I don't really like this comicified style of artwork for live action stuff, but yeah, the movie is great. The movie is honestly, if we were to consider the X-Men franchise to the movie franchise to be X-Men, X2, Days of Future Past, and Logan, it would be like the best superhero, the best comic book hero franchise of all time, right? Spider-Man Homecoming, which I got because to look pretty, and because I think after the Amazing Spider-Man and the Amazing Spider-Man 2, I sort of was tricked into thinking that I liked this movie better than I did, that it was better than I thought it was. But I think it's a good movie. It's not the best. I probably wouldn't buy this again, but I have it and it's not going anywhere. And I'm glad I have it. Star Wars: The Force Awakens. This is the only Star Wars steelbook that I have. My plan was to collect all of the sequel trilogy, but then Rise of Skywalker happened, and absolutely not. I do kick myself because I could have gotten The Last Jedi steelbook, which is gorgeous, by the way, but I didn't because when I first saw the movie in theaters, I didn't like it. And not for the reasons that the people who dislike the movie tend to dislike that movie, which is why I didn't share that opinion for a long time, up until I rewatched the film when I did a Star Wars rewatch marathon earlier this year, and I was like, holy shit, what the hell was I? Why didn't I like this movie the first time around? It is so good. The Last Jedi is so good. I'm kicking myself that I didn't get the steelbook, but I plan on getting the 4K at some point. The First Awakens is a really pretty steelbook though. Suicide Squad. No, really. I love this movie. It is terrible. I know that it's terrible. I do not care. It is my kind of trash. When I saw this movie for the first time, I saw it in theaters, and it was just pure, unabashed fun. And I know it is not a good movie by all intents and purposes. It is a terrible movie, but this brought me so much fun. It sparked so much joy and honestly, I'll watch this over most of the DCU movies, including the sequel slash soft reboot that I did not like at all. And also, this steelbook is really pretty. Thor Ragnarok. This is my favorite poster for the movie, so I'm really glad that they used it for the art. I prefer minimalistic posters, which Marvel doesn't tend to do because, I don't know, because they like their badly over photoshopped messes, but yeah, I love this poster. Train to Busan. If you haven't seen this movie, even if you're not a horror fan, please watch it. And Wonder Woman. Love the art on this one as well. This is still, this is still my favorite DCU movie. And last but not least, we finally get to my small but growing 4K collection. Starting with the Alfred Hitchcock collection, which has Rear Window, Vertical, Psycho, and The Birds. If you are a fan of any one of these movies, get the standalone releases or get this collection because they look like I never thought they would look. Like Psycho is one of my favorite movies, and when it was released on Blu-ray, I got it, and I remember being so disappointed in how it looked. I thought it was so dirty. Like, it had so many scratches and stuff. I thought they didn't really make a good job remastering it. On this one, this movie looks pristine. It's amazing. And the birds too. The birds looks great. I never thought the birds would look that good. Like, the birds finally looks good on home video. Probably better than it looks in theaters, if we're being honest. Then we have Batman, the 4-film collection, the Tim Burton, Joel Schumacher movies, of which the first one, which most people think is the best one, I think it's good, but it's my least favorite of them all, actually. My favorite is Batman Returns, then Forever, then and Robin, and then the first one, because the first movie for me, it's just not really about Batman. It's sort of like with the Superman movie, which the first hour is not about Superman because they spent a lot of money on Marlon Brando. Same thing with Jack Nicholson, except he's in the movie for all of it. Nonetheless, it's still a good, enjoyable movie. It's just not one that I revisit as often as I do the others. And I really love this set. I'm usually not a fan of this kind of thumbnail ready art, but I really like the ones that they did for these movies. I don't know why. I don't know why. I also really love and appreciate these movies now a lot more because these are the last time that a Batman movie, a live-action Batman movie anyway, was allowed to be fun. Jurassic World, the 5-movie collection. The nerve of calling it Jurassic World instead of Jurassic Park. This is the first 5 movies. Jurassic Park is one of my favorite movies. The fact that this is a box set is the only reason why I would ever own Fallen Kingdom, which remains one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. The first movie is the only one that I actually love, but I'm glad to have all of these, except for Fallen Kingdom, in my collection. It's a really nice set too. Predator, 3-movie collection. This has the first 3 movies. It doesn't have the Predator, which good. I'm not a fan of Predators either. I think it's really bad. Predator 2 is bad, but it's the kind of mess that I like. I have a lot of fun watching Predator 2. Predator 1, another favorite of mine. Again, also finally we have a copy of Predator that looks as good as this movie deserves to look. And then we have Almost Famous, which I don't think many people know this, but this is actually my favorite movie. It has both the theatrical cut and the director's cut, the bootleg cut, as you will. Yeah, I was so happy that I got this, and it didn't cost me my leg. Blade Runner. There are 2 4K Blu-rays that I have, and the other is the one that I'm going to show you right after this one. They are the demo disc for me. They are the reference quality disc that I put on when I want to talk somebody into buying 4K discs. This looks and sounds amazing, especially for a movie that is now 40 years old. Yeah, this looks and sounds amazing, and it's one of my favorite movies too. The other reference quality disc that I own, Pacific Rim, can't believe we let some people go around trying to convince us that this was not a good movie. This is so fun. I love it. The first Scream, which is one of my favorite horror movies, and just like one of my favorite movies too. I am so happy that we finally got a good remastered version of Scream that doesn't look like shit, because the HD versions that we had looked terrible. Actually, I'm a little upset that the Paramount didn't do the same for Scream 2 and Scream 3, but I'm sure they will at some point. There's going to be a Scream 6 next year, so maybe by then they'll do it, and I'll happily, double dip if it's only on a set, because the Scream franchise is my favorite horror franchise, as I mentioned. And now this movie finally looks good. Like, thank you so much. The Thing also looks really good on 4K. I have to return some 4K Ultra HD Blu-rays or something to that effect. So you can see this case came damaged. I didn't send it back because I got it for sale and I was scared that the price had already changed, and I was scared they might just not send a new one for me. It was stupid. I was stupid. But anyway, E.T. the Extraterrestrial, it also looks really good in 4K. Um, I don't think it looks as good as Jaws, which is another Spielberg from, well, not the same era, but around the same era. Jaws looks better. Jaws is older, actually, but it still looks really good on 4K. The Evil Dead. All of the movies, I think that I said, oh, I'm keeping this no matter what. It's because I upgraded them to 4K. I actually upgraded a few that is sold off some of the editions, but others I won't, like the Evil Dead, because it has the nice steelbook, right? I also like that this one has the original 4:3 aspect ratio, which Sony only had the widescreen 16:9 on their Blu-ray. So it's nice that I get to have both cuts of the movie. And also, this one comes with no special features except for an audio commentary. The Grinchmas edition. So here's the thing about this movie. Jim Carrey is both its strongest and weakest assets. I think this movie fell victim to what happened to most movies that had Jim Carrey when he was in his heyday, right? Which is the director, they couldn't or they wouldn't rein in when Jim Carrey was going a little overboard with his performance.
I'm a psycho. Danger! Danger!
But nonetheless, I understand why people hate this movie. I love this movie. I saw it when I was 9 years old. And this is just one of those movies that I'm happy that I own, because honestly, I think that even if you don't like this movie, you should rewatch it if you're a film fan, because all of the craftsmanship and all of the artistry that went behind the making of this movie, that is just evident in every single frame, just like the production design, the set designs, the costumes, the makeup. This movie has so much artistry that it really deserves to be at least studied in that way. Knives Out. I wish I had gotten this steelbook, but it was a Best Buy exclusive, so it was going for an obscene amount, and I actually got this relatively cheap for imported movies. I got it from Amazon Brazil, but they had it listed for like $250 something of my money, and I got it for $150 of my money, and it was like a discount that lasted for like a day. I hate the artwork that they use for this, because I hate floating heads, especially knowing what I lost, with the steelbook. But it doesn't matter. This movie is amazing. Lara Croft, Tomb Raider. One of those bad movies that I absolutely love. This is so much fun, and very nostalgic for me too. It's one of those movies that just makes you go like, whee! Like The Mummy, if I'm being honest. And this looks amazing in 4K. Definitely worth the upgrade. WALL-E. This is one of Pixar's best, and I am so glad that I finally have it, because I've been meaning to get this since the first time it got released on Blu-ray, which was like 2008. It was right after, it was at the same time that it got released on DVD. And I'm the ultimate procrastinator, because I always wanted to get the edition that came with a bonus disc with special features, and guess what? This one has it, and it's in 4K, so I guess the lesson is sometimes procrastination works. And finally, X-Men and X-Men 2. The first X-Men looks better on 4K than the second one, but I had to have these movies. They've been two of my favorite movies like my whole life. So I had to get them, and I got them from a third-party seller, so my money wouldn't go to, some people that were involved in the making of this movie. Same vibes. The reason that I keep the Blu-rays for this one is that, one, I think I like the artwork for the first movie on the Blu-ray better, and two, this one doesn't come with the second disc of bonus features. And that is it, ladies and genders. All of my collection. thank you for watching. I hope next time we meet, I hope I'm gonna bring you something more on brand, but if you watched this all the way through, like, seriously, thank you. And if you didn't, it's okay, I'm sorry. I mean, you can't hear this because you're not here, but you know, I am sorry. Anyway, just wanted to try something different and just something fun. Thank you very much. See you guys soon, I hope.
4 o'clock, wallow in self-pity. 4:30, stare into the abyss. 7 o'clock, wrestle with my self-loathing. Of course, if I bumped the loathing to 9, I could still be done in time to lay in bed, stare at the ceiling, and slip slowly into madness.
Actually, I just realized that I forgot to show you my Harry Potter collection. So here it is. Trans lives matter, and I stand with my trans brothers and sisters. There is no LGB without the T.